Hey guys, 2014 has come to an end, and with that, another good year of movies, as well as some bad ones, and then those that I completely forgot I saw. So I'm not set up in my new place yet. I've moved out, and I have this really cool poster wall that can't wait to show you guys, but until then, I'm just going to do this list via recording. So anyway, the whole point of a movie is that there is a memorable part of it. There's something that makes you remember. That's the whole point of going to a movie, is that you have a memorable experience. And we've had memorable experiences from both good films and bad films. For example, the Star Wars movies. The original trilogy was amazing in every way and so many memorable moments. And you can also say sort of for the new trilogy, which was terrible. Even like everyone remembers Jar Jar Binks. So anyway, these films failed to give me something memorable in the sense that I actually forgot I saw them. I saw about 40 movies this year. So, but I have usually a very good memory. The only thing I'm really good at is useless movie trivia. So the fact that I forgot these movies is kind of an insult, really, to them, to the fact that I could forget that I saw them. So anyway, starting off the list with the most controversial choice, number 10 is Godzilla. Now, I know I'm going to get a bunch of flack from this, but be honest with me. Did any of you guys really like this movie? Like, you may have enjoyed parts of it, but God, some parts just dragged. Some parts were boring. Some parts were just pointless. Instead of focusing on Bryan Cranston, or how about the Godzilla creature that's the title card of the film, you spend all these time with these terrible, bland human characters, and just nothing really interesting happens. All these stupid decisions, and you had Godzilla using atomic breath, but you cocked-blocked him so many times in his own movie that by the time he appeared, I was asleep. It should have been called Godzilla. So it had some memorable parts, and the marketing campaign was amazing, but nothing really stands out in a part to make it really memorable to me. Like, the Godzilla breath part, I forgot that happened until recently. I actually forgot that happened. So anyway, so number 9, now we're going to get into the gritty, is 300 Rise of an Empire. Now, I've been waiting for this movie for quite some time because I actually like the Themistocles story of the Battle of Thermopylae just as much as Leonidas' story. So when I found out that they were going to make a movie about his story, I was like, okay, that's going to be cool. It had some elements, and it had a lot of good stuff going for it. It had Eva Green being bad as hell, like badass as hell, and hot as hell too. There's a sex fight scene in it, and then you have probably the best fight scene at the very beginning of the movie, which probably wasn't the best idea, but yeah. But in the end, it just, every time I think of the number 300, if I think of the whole film idea, franchise or whatever, I always think of the first one, just because it had this much more memorable machoism, this more of a legend story, and the speeches were a lot better. I give it the lead guy credit. He did his best, but he's just no Gerard Butler, unfortunately, and that's why I forgot I saw 300 Rise of an Empire. Number 8 is a movie that a lot of people would probably think is higher, but I actually liked its concept, but God, the execution was awful, is Transcendence. Honestly, I forgot I saw this movie a few weeks ago, but it actually had been in the back of my mind for some time. The only issue is that it just was so bland. The concepts that it was proposing were really cool, and I had just read Michael Crichton's Prey, which was really making me think a lot about the whole idea of micro computer organisms and whatnot. And it was just like, oh, this is so interesting, but God, everyone's so phoned in. And I don't remember a single line of dialogue from that movie. I just remember how the story goes pretty well when I think about it, but I don't remember any word that was said except maybe Transcendence at one point. So anyway, that's why Interstellar was boring and forgettable to me. Number 7 on this list is Dracula Untold. Now, do any of you remember seeing this movie? Because I literally only remember one scene, and that's when he's smashing the ground and all the bats crash in the ground. This movie, I have a review of it. For actually most of these movies, I have my reviews that I wrote for my college newspaper down in the bottom. If you guys want to read it, it gives a little bit more description of why these movies aren't that great. But You have the thing is, this film had kind of a stake in its foot. It was doing the umpteenth rendition of this character, and it was trying to make him sound kind of like an anti-Batman hero or something, an anti-hero. It was kind of a cool concept, and the trailer was wicked too, but God, the battles were just boring, and there's no character. There's no point in anyone else in this film because they die, or even if they don't die, they have a line of dialogue and then they die, and the film thinks that you care about these people that you don't even know. Luke Evans does a decent job, but this film just had this very bland and forgettable story that I don't even remember. I remember basic bits of it, but this film just didn't grab me as much as I thought it would. And the part that I remember the most is the ending where Tywin says, let the games begin. It's like, really? You had to choose the most cheesiest dialogue ending of all time for this? So anyway, that's why Dracula's number 7. Number 6, now this movie's actually done pretty well considering I saw it at the beginning of the year and it's the worst film of the year I saw, is I, Frankenstein. My God, what a piece of garbage. Why is Aaron Eckhart in this film? Why does he do shitty B-rated movies? The film was a piece of junk. The story was bland as absolute hell. The acting was awful. And I don't remember a single bit of story in this movie. I just remember that the doctor dies at the beginning. Like Frankenstein, the doctor. And that, the creature was called Adam, I think. But God... you had gargoyles fighting demons. Like I remember Jeremy Johns saying that this is the perfect causeway into the Gargoyles, the animated series, becoming a movie. Like it was so stupid. The film was boring, and I really hope that these special effects directors don't get big budget movies like this anymore. Like the Dracula Untold and this movie are prime examples. Do not. Oh, and then, Maleficent. Do not give high budget films to special effects directors. They don't know how to do the story properly. They know how to make stuff look pretty, but they don't know how to do the story properly. So number 5, this thing it should be higher on my list considering it came out on my birthday. It had Eva Green basically naked in the entire movie, and it was a sequel that I've been waiting for years, but there's movies that I actually forgot even more than this, is Sin City 2, A Dame to Kill For. What a letdown. This film, I don't even remember the scenes of Eva Green naked. Like, that's how much I forgot this movie. Like, I know she is naked, but I don't even remember them at, like, how they were shot or whatnot. You would think that would be a pretty big thing to remember, considering how hot she is. But no, this film is just... all the stories are lame. The only one that was kind of interesting was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's, but in the end, like, I actually liked his story, how it ended, but everyone else is like, just the build up to his story and everything other story is just like, geez, it's so boring and just so phoned in from Robert Rodriguez. Man, that guy has just dug himself a grave of garbage the last year. So number 4 is As Above, So Below. Now, you guys, this had a great marketing campaign once again. It was about the French catacombs. That's something that I totally want to go and see in Paris whenever I go there. It's such an interesting area to film. It has so much back lore and story and ghost stories and whatnot. So that's cool, right? I don't even remember how it ended. I remember the last shot of them out and the camera being on the side, but I don't remember how they got there. The story just completely fell through the ground, and it started off as a movie that had a good idea, and then it turns into every horror cliche in the book, and it's just a piece of stupid garbage. And it was such a letdown because I really was digging the idea of the French catacombs. So anyway, that's why that's number 4. Number 3 is a film that I have a really sad joke with. This movie came out in September, but it definitely won't be remembered in November. November Man with Pierce Brosnan. My goodness. Now, why did this movie make it in theaters? That's my big question. Because it totally played out like a straight-to-DVD action movie. It was full of boring twists that no one gave a care about. Everyone except Pierce Brosnan's as a terrible actor. Pierce Brosnan kind of just drinks throughout the entire film. I remember that. But I don't remember what the point of the story was. I don't remember what his goal was. I don't remember anything. I don't remember how it ended. I don't remember how it began. It just was so boring. I remember just sitting there with my hand in my hand, and I almost fell asleep watching this movie. So, Pierce, I actually can't say you had an interesting idea here because it was bland and it was totally predictable. So that's one reason why November Man is completely forgettable, is just because of how predictable it is. Now, number 2 and number 1 were hard because I forgot both of them just as much, but I'm going to let the other one off a little bit more because I respected how the film was made, even though I totally forgot it. So this is a sequel to a film that no one wanted. A reboot of a film that no one wanted. And it has Gary Oldman, Michael Keaton, and Samuel L. Jackson. It was ROBOCOP. I forgot this movie. This movie that was somewhat well made for the sake of itself. It was decently put together. It wasn't fantastic. It didn't have the gore or the violence that the original had. Okay, you want to know the thing I remember the most about this movie is the fact that it came out right around Valentine's Day. So I remember my girlfriend making a joke that this was the bromance Valentine's Day date movie. That's what I remember the most. I even forgot that Samuel L. Jackson was in this movie, being an even crazier Glenn Beck character with a Novak report. They shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have touched this series. It was fantastic on its own, and if you're going to remake it right, and they didn't. The whole point of RoboCop is that it had this really cool futuristic idea, which, okay, the new one did, but it didn't carry over the violence or the internal core. And the guy who played RoboCop too, it wasn't good. I totally forgot I saw it, but I didn't forget it as much as I forgot this movie, who also stars Michael Keaton, Need for Speed. Does anyone remember that this movie came out? Anyone at all? If you do, I give you a pat on the back because I completely forgot this film. This was probably one of my best reviews. Apparently this was one of my best reviews that I wrote this year, and I completely forgot I saw it. It was so boring. Okay, you want to know the 3 things I do remember? I remember that Aaron Paul's acting was similar to that of David Caruso at points when he was talking with people. I remember that Need for Speed Pro Sport was being played on TV. I remember that because it's like, out of all the games you're playing that one. And then the third one was that the director is the same guy who did Act of Valor, and that sly little bastard had to throw in some marketing in his own movie. When they go into the gas station, you can see Act of Valor in the DVD trays. It's like, really? Really, dude? Because everyone wants to remember that movie, too. But nothing's memorable about this movie. It was promoting great stunt work, but it's all bland. The street chase, unfortunately, the Fast and Furious series have killed conventional speed races for for cinema, unfortunately. So unless you have creative edges to races like how Drive did with its opening scene, or just anything, you have to have an interesting concept, and you can't just shoot really fast cars and expect that to be entertaining. I don't remember anything about this movie except for those 3 things. I don't remember how it ended. I don't remember, I only just remember that Michael Keaton was in it because I was looking at his filmography. But yeah, that's it, guys. Need for Speed was the most forgettable movie of the year for me. If you guys have any other movies that you totally forgot you saw, post it in the comments. I cannot wait to start doing film reviews and showing you guys the wall. You will be amazed at all the posters I have assembled. It's so cool. The only thing is I'm trying to figure out how to frame it. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you guys had a great New Year's Eve. Hope you aren't too hungover. And I will see you guys in a few days, hopefully, with a first film review. And that's it. So have a good New Year's, guys, and celebrate 2015 with some good movies. All right? See you guys next time.